Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me as always is Eric, Nathaniel, and Robert, and Eric is here this week. I don't have to keep saying Eric instead of Matt, or Matt instead of Eric. So, back from his whirlwind adventures in wherever you were at, Europe, or
it's gone a while.
UK, I don't remember where it was at now.
Yep,
Drinking
UK, Ireland,
Europe.
now I'm back.
Yeah, drinking and drinking.
That's all I saw was all your
I did some
apps.
drinking, some food, some sightseeing. I went to GameStop and CEX.
I went.
CEX over there's their big
I
GameStop
did some sightseeing and drinking, and some game stopping and drinking, and some museums and drinking. And
Certainly what it looked like on Twitter.
And actually, it was interesting
It
too
really
because at GameStop in Ireland, it's the euro, and it's almost a 1-for-1 ratio. And most of the stuff there was cheaper than America. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I saw a few things, but nothing that I really wanted to bring home, and nothing that you were looking for, John. Sorry.
Oh well, that's fine.
I did see that. I saw the Devil's Third, that game for the Wii U. It's really expensive for a
Yeah.
US release. It was like 30 euros over there, and I was like, oh man, if I had a modified Wii U or a PAL system, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, I forgot the Wii U wasn't region free, so it wouldn't.
Man. But other than that,
about
like GameStop's pretty much like it is over here, and CEX, it has a little bit of like retro, but not very much.
I didn't even
Mostly
realize
modern
it was
stuff.
called GameStop. I thought it was just called Game. I thought that's what it was over there.
I thought that too, and that's another big UK store. But in London, I didn't see much because
Yeah.
GameStop, they were pretty far and in between. But in Dublin, they're all over the place and pretty close to touristy areas. But yeah, it was a fun trip. Weather was only crummy a little bit. I watched some American football over there. I went to a pub, convinced them to turn the game on. Nobody cared but me. I was like, yeah, football. Oh, sorry, American football.
Yeah.
I get angry when you call it football over
there. It's soccer. When you say
Not even that.
No, when you say football over there, there's a soccer. So yeah.
And then, a couple people were asking me like about the rules and stuff. Oh, what's that called? I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, all right, I can explain it to you. I'll do my best.
You should have known that was going to happen. I mean,
yeah, but it was good. It was a good trip. But I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm sure. 2 weeks. You're going what? Almost 2 weeks or 10 days? Or something like that?
2 weeks. 2 weeks, and everything was good at the house. Person watching our house, our cat got into a fight outside. He doesn't go outside without supervision. So let him outside for a little bit in the backyard. Backyard's completely fenced. Another cat was in the yard, and boom. He was okay. We went to the vet. Everything checked out. But I was like, woke up, got a text message and a Facebook message at like 3 in the morning, UK time. Which is in the evening. I'm like, oh, but everything was good.
I was going to say, why does somebody put a cat outside if it's not an outside cat? I mean,
Yeah.
Our cat gets outside sometimes, but he's technically not a outside cat. He used to be an outside cat, but now he's an inside cat. But he still likes to try to get outside sometimes. But
he usually just goes and sits on like the back porch and like sits for a couple minutes or chews on grass. Cats.
Yeah, they like the grass.
inside.
Ours, when they do get out, they just roll around on the concrete like it's something.
Scratch.
Yeah, I guess it's just immediately they just roll over and start rubbing on the concrete. It's the
And they
craziest
look at
thing
you.
I've ever seen.
Weird animals.
I feel like do that when it's in the middle of the summer and the concrete's super hot. Cat, see how you feel then.
Oh, that's when they do it. They do it summer, winter. They don't care. But this is the time of year that Jesse likes to try to get out. He when it starts getting cool, he wants to go out, and he will.
Oh yeah.
He will sneak out when I'm taking the dogs out. He will sneak out in the yard sometimes.
He's like waiting. He's like, all right, if the dogs go left, I go right.
Yeah. Well, no, he just waits. If I don't close the door all the way, he'll just flip it open and walk right out in the garage through the. Yeah. I'll be like, dude, where are you going? He knows how good he's got it. He don't need to be outside.
He's got the good life.
Yeah, he's got the real good life. I mean, he should. He gets a square meal every day, and he gets his litter box clean. And
there we go.
Rubbed when he wants at 3 o'clock in the morning. A little jerk.
He's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get up. Get up.
Yeah, really. Gets in
Claw your
fights.
face.
Yeah, gets in fights with the other cat. It's all that stuff that cats do. So,
Yep.
Plot your demise.
Gotta love pets. Gotta love pets.
Mm-hmm.
So. But anyway, we'll talk about video games, not just pets. We talk about all kinds of things on here. But
The video games.
yeah, so
Weather. We talk about weather sometimes.
Yeah, we do talk about weather. We actually had a thunderstorm just roll through with some hail. That was really cool.
Been windy here, a little rain, not too bad.
Yeah, it's been cold here. I'm glad. I'm ready for some cold weather. I'm tired of winter or summer. I'm ready for winter.
I'm tired of fall. I'm ready for summer.
Oh.
No.
It's too early for that crap.
It can just stay fall for a few months, and then it can go straight to spring. Skip that whole winter thing.
I would be fine with that too, but you know, the way it's been here lately, it's not going to skip winter. It's not going to skip winter at all.
No, it feels like it's going to be a rough winter this year.
Yeah, I have a feeling you are probably correct. So. But anyway, we'll talk about what we've been playing. I know a lot of us have been playing a couple of us have been playing the same thing. Let's let Eric go first. He's got the biggest list, and he's been going the longest. So. Go for it.
Throw him right in there.
Yeah, throw him in there.
Go. So, I did take my 3DS with me on my trip, so we'll start with that. And I did get some playtime in on the plane and stuff, but like we talked about before, usually at night I would just read my Kindle or watch bad local British TV.
Now, how far was how long were you on the plane from? Because I know you left to JFK and then you had a layover.
Yeah, so I had a 5-hour layover in JFK, thanks travel agent, and then another about 6-hour flight to Dublin.
Wow! And how long was the flight from? I guess Seattle to?
Yeah, we drove over to Seattle. Seattle, DC, I think it was about 5 hours, 6 hours maybe. I don't really remember it.
Okay, so it was like 15. It was like a 15 total hour.
And the first flight was great, but then from JFK to Dublin, it was an older Delta plane, and we had upgraded our seating, but it was right against the bulkhead, so I couldn't stretch out my legs. I'm not a very tall guy, but it's not very comfortable.
When I'm on a plane and they go, we need somebody to sit by the exit door, I'll go, that'll be me. And then they sit over there and they go, now if we have an accident, you have to be the one to open the door and help everybody out and things like that. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Sure thing. Open up the door and then close it. I'm out of here. But anyway, that's a long flight. Yeah, you had some gaming time.
And then on the way back it was a straight shot from London to Seattle. That's about an 8-hour flight.
Oh, really? Now, did you fly when it was a straight shot back? Which way did you fly? Did you fly
up and over?
Up and over.
So over the Arctic Circle.
Okay, that's what I wondered. I wondered if you went over.
A little bit of time.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it was I definitely got on some time. I played some, I tried Rune Factory for the DS, played on my 3DS, and not for me. I tried to convince my wife to play it too, and she was even less interested. I would probably be better off with a regular Harvest Moon game.
Probably. Yeah.
But I wanted to try it. I had it. I picked it up cheap. I wanted to see what it was like, and I was like, yeah, not really for me.
Yeah.
I played some Star Fox 64 on 3DS. Good times.
I like that version.
It's a good game, yeah. And I forgot that I had Ollie Ollie, and I played that for about an hour. That's a fun game.
Yeah. I think I got that free from
Tony Hawk.
That was on the PS Plus for a while ago.
Well, yeah, but I think I got it on.
Second one too.
I think I got it on 3DS and Wii U from Humble Bundle or something.
Yeah, that's where I got it. It's fun, easy to play. Played some Puzzles vs. Dragons too. I didn't play Chrono. I really want to play Chrono Trigger and Zelda, but I never got around to it.
Wow.
But played some stuff a little bit of stuff on Switch. I played some Double Dragon and some River City Ransom this weekend just to see how the Nintendo Classics worked. It looked great. That was fantastic. And I never played River City Ransom, so it was good. Interesting game. PS4 wise, before I left, I played a lot of Dead Cells, but I haven't played any since I got back. I played a little bit of Mafia 3 this week, almost done. I know. Somehow I must hate myself. I'm playing Ghost Recon Wildlands 2, a little bit of multiplayer.
Yeah.
Mafia 3, what can I say? I'm like 80% of the way through, and I'm like, I should finish this. No, I shouldn't, because then I bought that game with some horses. Red Dead Redemption 2. That has been a great time.
Barbie's Pony Adventure?
Yeah.
There's a new horse game, My Pony or something like that's coming out for Switch. I saw. I forget what it's called. I thought maybe that's what he was talking about.
There is a Barbie horse game, right?
Yeah, there is.
Crazy.
I'm sure there's more than one.
Yeah. I bought Red Dead as well. I really like it. I've probably put. I don't know how many hours I've put in it. There's no real way to see how many hours I've played.
Track it.
I bet you could track it in like the social club or something, maybe online.
Well, I pulled it up and it just tells you like what percent of the story you're through, and I think the last time I checked, I was like 12% through or something like that.
Or maybe
not a lot.
12% of a 60-hour story.
Well, if you do everything, it's like 100 hours. If you do all the
I
side
heard 60.
quests and you do everything. So
is there anything you don't like, or anything anything that bothered you when you fired it up? Anything that I was just curious.
No,
All right, guy in the
not
corner,
really.
up there.
No, there hasn't been anything that really bugs me about it. The controls.
I'll tell you what bugged me about it. The introduction chapter 1 is way too long.
Yeah, it is long. Yeah,
I had to play like I only got to play it about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and that was as much time as it took to get through that.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to try exploring somewhere. Nope, can't do it yet.
No,
just slowly go through this stupid deep snow that the first chapter's in. It's like, go faster, horse, come on.
Yeah, that is some deep snow. Oh my gosh! I mean,
it looks cool. Some of the stuff that you do is nice. It's just like, I want to go explore and do things, and it's very on the rails at the beginning of like.
Yeah, because they teach.
And as someone who's like, okay, this is almost exactly like the original Red Dead with a few little extra, wrinkles to it. Just let me go.
The one thing that kind of aggravates me a little bit is, if I remember right, unless I'm thinking of another game, wasn't the last Red Dead when you would make a waypoint on your map and you would start going on the road, or you'd follow that waypoint, you could just hold down the X button and it would automatically do the turns and stuff.
You're right.
It doesn't do that now. Yeah. And I hate that. And the only reason I hate that,
I don't think that was it. I think it would follow. Well, maybe that was. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been so long. I don't remember.
Follow roads, whether you had a waypoint or not, you could hold it. And it would
maybe that was
try to stay on the roads.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about it is what sucks is sometimes you got to go from point A to point B, and it's a very long way. And that doesn't bother me because the scenery's nice, but they're always encouraging you to go into the cinematic camera to really get the movie aspect of what it looks like, and that's really cool. But man, it is hard to keep your horse on the right path while this camera's going this way, and then it'll change and go this way, or it'll pull back and go this way.
To do that?
You don't have to do that.
At the beginning of the only explanation at the very beginning when it's showing you that is like, hey, switch to cinematic camera here, hold the button to keep going. It doesn't say anything.
So the stagecoach is going to give us fast travel, right?
Yeah, when you unlock them, I believe. Yes, yeah.
And trains.
That and trains, yeah. So, I mean, the cinematic camera is really cool, and when I'm going real far, I'd like to use it just to see those, get a wider perspective of everything. But when I've still got to steer my horse in the road, it's really hard to do, and a lot of times I end up hitting a tree or hitting a rock or hitting another rider or
get thrown off.
Or get thrown off or something like that.
And if you bump riders in the road, that's an interesting experience too.
Yeah. I mean, there's a there's a lot of weird little things about that game that if you hit a rock, I mean, it will just throw you over. Or hit a tree. And the thing about it is you don't realize is that horse takes damage every time that you do it, and you will eventually kill that horse by hitting.
Can you heal the horse?
Oh, you could feed him and heal and feed him.
They have
and stuff,
a health bar. Like, what's
they have a health bar.
Taking damage. That's one of the first things they show you.
Well, I know, but
a health bar.
I mean, but the thing about it is you don't think about it, and you don't think about it until you hit another tree for the third time in a row or something, and you break your horse's neck, and you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere.
That happened.
And you're like,
this is on the far end of the spectrum, whereas Assassin's Creed is the other side, where it's like, hey, leap off of things.
It's no big deal.
If, on the off chance it does die because the cliff is slightly too large, you can just whistle him and it'll, teleport back.
Well, and the other thing that what's that?
The last Red Dead game, you could kill your horse, but it came back pretty quickly, right?
Right. And this one...
It's not the same, because the original Red Dead, it's the same horse. If you have you could buy like a...
But you got the tonic you can use. Have you used that yet?
Yeah, I mean, I have. But, I mean, I'm just saying sometimes you got to be careful. Like, in this game, you've got to take a bath. Because if you don't take a bath, the woman in the camp gets mad at you, and your health goes down, and you come back to the camp, and she will drag you over to a rain barrel and dunk you until you clean your...
Can you take a bath
I'm never going to take a bath.
Can you take a bath in town?
You can at a hotel. You can take it. You go to the hotel. They have the baths. The other thing that's cool is you've got to clean your weapons all the time. Because if you don't clean your weapons, they degrade, they lose power, they lose range, they lose this and that. And so, you got to keep track of that, which is cool. I I don't know.
Brush your horse. Don't forget to brush and clean your horse.
Yeah, you got to brush and clean your horse. If he gets dirty, then he slows down and his health degrades and stuff like that. So usually the first thing I do is when I'm riding down, if I haven't cleaned him or brushed him in a while, I just take if I'm by the river, I just take a left or a right, whichever side the river's on, and just ride through it, and that cleans him off, and then we go, and we're good. Super simple.
I haven't even gotten to any of that yet. Like, they must be introducing systems for a long
crazy.
time.
They just
The one thing that I found that was weird was there was one part of the story. I was going to collect a debt off somebody, and he ran, and I was following him on the horse. He was on horseback. I was on horseback. We got real close to a train. And I had my lasso out because I didn't want to kill him, so I was just going to yank him off the train. Well, I lassoed him, yanked him off the train, and when I did, instead of him falling left away from the train, he fell right into the train. So not only he hit the side of the train, and when he did, it pulled me off, and it pulled my horse into the train. And it killed my horse. So here I am out in the middle of nowhere with a dead horse. I couldn't, and it killed the guy that I was trying to get the debt off of. So I had to walk over, to find the debt that he'd hid, and then I had to go over, get my saddle, and I'm walking through the country with my saddle in my hand, going, I gotta find a horse because I am nowhere near anything. And so then I walk into a farm and steal a horse, and then we're good to go. So that was it's like, okay, you got to be very mindful of your surroundings with some things because you'll get stuck out in the middle of nowhere. Like one mission, I don't know how far you've gotten into it, Eric, but you have to steal a wagon, an oil wagon that has like oil or kerosene in it.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far yet,
okay.
But I'm guessing in the story, so.
Yeah, so you go to the refinery, you jump the fence, you get the thing, and you're going. Well, you got to leave your other horse behind. You got to take this. You got to take this wagon way far over here and then leave it. And then what do you do when you drop that wagon off? You let the other horses go, and they run. And then you're like, okay, I'll just whistle my horse. Oh wait, I'm too far away to.
Can you not tether your horse to the wagon? It seems like
not when 30 people are shooting at you. I mean, there was no time. You jump the fence. I jumped the fence, and everybody's like, "Wait a minute!" And it's just like you get on that wagon and you go. I mean, you don't have time. If your horse doesn't follow you, then you'll walk back and pick him up. So at the moment, I hopped a train.
Can you whistle at your horse while driving a carriage?
I don't know. I couldn't. I don't think so.
Just keep whistling the whole time.
I didn't think about that at the time. So
yeah, I was curious.
When instead of walking all the way back because it was so far, I hopped on a train, and the train was going in the wrong direction. And now I'm in some new city that I've never even seen before, sitting at the train station waiting for a train to go back the other way so I can get on it and go get my horse.
I like that. Yeah, the bounties are fun. I've been doing a couple of those. I need to get some of the legendary animals. The story missions are good. It took me a little bit to figure this out, but you can give stuff to the camp to upgrade. And I found out that I thought I had to like carry each of the pelts I had to the guy in the camp. No, you can just hit the button and have access to everything. I didn't know that, but done it a couple times.
Well, that and you can store it on your horse too. You can store them on your horse.
Yeah, limited.
That's a lot of storage.
I need to upgrade my satchel too.
What I do is I kill the deer or whatever, throw it on the back because you can take the entire animal to the horse and throw it on the horse and carry it back and then skin it in the camp and then give him the carcass and all the other stuff too. So
that's probably better than what I've been doing,
anyway.
which I'm just getting the meat and the
Can you carry a animal carcass to the top of a saloon and then throw it at a drunk person below?
Probably. Probably not the bison, but you can probably carry a deer. Rabbit.
You can tell what I want to do in this game. Just all the stupid random hijinks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely not a game that you can just jump in and jump out of real quick.
No,
you
gotta really dedicate some time to it. I've played it once every evening. Nikki's going to bed early. I'm off all the rest of this week, and we're leaving for Florida on Friday. So my goal is to try to finish the entire story before Thursday night. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. But
are you trying to rush into a different game?
Nope. I'm just want to get it done. So by the time I get back from Florida, my buddies who are working overtime will be done with overtime. They'll play the game, and then hopefully the online comes out in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I think.
Have they even said?
Yeah, they said, I don't remember. I have to look it up. I don't remember what the date was that I heard. It was, I don't know if it was like official, if it was just rumored. I think it was 3 weeks after launch or something like that. And then the real shenanigans will begin.
Shenanigans.
So,
are you planning on doing the online?
Oh yeah, yeah. We're all.
There'll be some cool stuff like some like
we're all expecting on raiding or robbing train and robbing banks and doing whatever they have online to do whatever they're going to do online. It opens up as a beta first, so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the Red Dead Online date is just November 2018. They haven't said anything more specific than that yet.
So, I'm figuring it's going to be, if I had to guess, it'll probably be around the launch date of Fallout.
I mean, sure.
It wouldn't,
why wouldn't you?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I was planning on playing that beta tonight, and then ran out of time before the podcast.
What, the Fallout?
Mm-hmm.
On the Xbox?
PlayStation.
Oh, it's not on PlayStation till the 30th.
Till the 30th, yeah.
I thought it started today.
Nope, it starts the 30th.
Well, that's good. Glad I didn't miss it.
Yeah, today it was on Xbox today from like noon to 2 or 4 or something like that. It was on yesterday from 7 to something, and I saw the schedule for the next one. It's like the 30th is the next one. That's when it'll be on Xbox and PlayStation 4. It'll only be open for. They're not opening. It's not unlimited. It's only for like 4
it's
hours.
just a window of time.
Yeah,
I hate when they do that. That's so annoying.
It's so annoying.
Why they need to do it, but for people trying to play it, it's like I have to be here at this specific time. Oh crap, I missed it because I had something else. It sucks.
Yeah, it does stink, but I understand why they're doing it because technically this is the full game and everything carries over. So if they just open it up, people are going to play the game 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the game comes out. So
it's like 7 to 11 on.
It's not an open beta though. Don't you have to pre-order?
Yes, you do. But here's the trick.
But you can quit out of a pre-order.
Mm-hmm. That's how John got to play it a week early. He pre-ordered it on Xbox. On Amazon. A day later, they sent you the code, and then when I got the code and redeemed it, I canceled it.
That's how I've been doing
Xbox.
all my betas. Is I just pre-order Amazon.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna buy it on PS4, so that's fine. I just wanted to play it early. So, anything else about Red Dead before I talk about Fallout beta? Since we're talking about Fallout, Eric, anything?
Nope. I'm good. You covered all my stuff.
Okay. I did. Like I said, I did play the Fallout beta. I only got to play it the first night. I haven't been able to play it the other 2 times they've had it up. And even the first night, I only played it for about 2 hours or so. It looks nice. It runs okay. I don't know if you saw the video that I put up on Twitter and stuff of the first thing I did when I got out of the vault and they let me loose. It's like, oh, you need to go this way, and I went, nope, I'm going this way because that's where my hometown is at. So I'm gonna go see what that's all about before I go.
I saw the sign.
Yeah, so
and I think I saw you walking to the Mothman Museum.
Yeah, well, there's a video. I posted a video of walking into town and stuff like that, and as soon as I walked into town, you could see my guy going like this, and it's not the video that's chugging, it was the game that was chugging. It's like when
sure it wasn't just slow motion dramatics, like
I wish
you're
it was.
entering the town.
Well, that's been my only complaint with the Fallout beta is it really shows, and it could be net traffic, it could be I don't know if it's the game or what, but it is very, when you go from point A to point B and it's someplace that's very graphic heavy, the frame rate drops. I mean, it must be like 15 frames a second drops. I mean, it's noticeably a chug. I didn't play with anybody else. I just played by myself for the 2 hours I was there. you could play the game by yourself. I mean, so far I had no problems, actually doing little quests and stuff by myself. The only thing that I found was the respawn rate of bad guys is very, very fast. So, which that's something on the back end they can adjust if they feel that it's too fast.
Okay.
But like I walk into town, somebody's shooting at me. Oh, here he is, bam, 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 shoot, and then go around the corner and then come back, and they're right there back again. It's like, it's
I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, it's like, man, I can't really, get time to recover or look or hunt for this or hunt for that, or there'll be like 5 or 6 of them in a great big bunch, and they're all these ghouls that have guns. They can't talk, they can barely walk, but man, can they shoot a gun. I mean, it's just
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, but other than that, I mean, it's really cool. If it wasn't set where it was set, I'll put it this way: if Red Dead didn't come out when it did, and Fallout was coming out, I would probably buy Fallout. If Fallout wasn't set in West Virginia and that's what got me interested, and with Red Dead out now, I probably wouldn't buy Fallout. Just because
I'm gonna play the beta and make my final decision.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Fallout 4, you'll like Fallout 76.
What if Fallout 4 didn't grab you?
Yeah, see, I like blowing up super mutants and destroying monsters like Fallout 3 in New Vegas.
Well, there's a lot of
any interest in settlement building or anything like that.
You don't have. I mean, you don't have to do the settlement building if you don't want to. I mean, your little machine you carry around and you set it down, and that could be your base, and everything's there. And then when you want to leave and you want to take it with you, it just folds up and goes in your pocket, and you go.
Goes in your pocket.
I mean, it's not like the whole settlement building like it was in
4.
In 4, where you build these buildings and that's where it always stays. It's kind of like a portable thing. But I mean, there's plenty of monsters to hunt down. There's some of them you can only do in the days, and some of them you can only do at nights, and some of them you can only do at certain times of the week or certain things like that I've seen anyway. But I mean, there seems to be plenty of monsters to hunt down. If you like to hunt monsters and blow them up, there's plenty of that to do. But like I said, I played just a small chunk of it. I'll probably play it more when it comes out. I'll probably play it more seriously when it comes out on PS4, because on Xbox One, where I'm not really going to be playing it, it was like, well, it's not going to carry. I'm not going to carry it over that way, so I can just go do what I want and see everything real quick and go, oh, that's cool. I know where that's at. Oh, look there, that's cool. And it's like, oh, I'm dead. Okay, well, let me. Where on PS4, I'll try to, take it more seriously, because then when the game comes out, it's like, well, that'll carry over, and I won't have to do all that crap again. So, I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you're a Fallout fan, you'll like it.
You think it's going to hook new people into the series, or you think it's kind of not?
Honestly, I think anybody that has a general interest in West Virginia, it will hook them. But I don't know if it'll bring new people. The surroundings are cool. The graphics are nice. I mean, it's fall setting, so it's very orangey, and leaves falling out of trees and things like that. It's very pretty. Hopefully that chugging, though, I hope they get rid of that loading.
Is that still there?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's still there.
Weird version of it, though.
Yeah, it's not like it was in 3. It's it's a little different. Maybe more like it was in 4. I didn't play a ton of 4, so I don't remember.
3, it stops time completely. 4, time still moves very slowly.
Yeah, I think it's more like that. I didn't get that far in it. I know it's there, but I didn't get that far in it where it was like even.
How would that work with, in real time with a bunch of other people?
Well, I have no idea, because I haven't done it, so I don't know. I'm not real sure. I didn't try it. I didn't get to that part. I didn't get that far into it where I actually had the ability to do it. So it was like, But that's where, when you play the beta, hopefully you'll be able to get in. I need to look at the dates. I know.
Are you gonna play Tuesday on PlayStation?
Tuesday. What is?
That might be the only time I can get on.
Isn't that the one that's when the PC's coming too, right?
Yeah.
Somehow mysteriously pre-ordered both.
Yeah.
I meant to get one for a gift from my brother, but he's like, I'm gonna put it myself.
I should be able to play Tuesday, as far as I know.
I might give it a go then.
Yeah, I got to see what times it was. That's what I was going to
I probably won't be there right at 7 because I have a meeting that I have to go to. But once I get home,
meetings. Let's see. Tell them you're busy.
I tried.
I have a business trip to West Virginia.
Yeah, really.
Business trip. I have to go and explore.
It's October 30th, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. November 1st, 2 to 7 Eastern. November 3rd is 5 to 9 Eastern, and November 4th is 2 to 9. So,
dang, like it's gonna be tough for me to play. I mean, I've been able to play Tuesday and then maybe Friday with the other. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, today it was 12 to 2, and I didn't even try. Yesterday it was 5 to 7, so it was like, eh. So,
just 2 hour blocks. It's like if you're not gonna get there right away, you're like, nope.
Yep, and there was
like
there was no way I was going to get there at noon today, so it was like, I'm not worried about it. I'll play Red Dead. So, but yeah, I'm gonna try to play it at least the 30th, the first day. I'll at least try to play it for maybe the whole span, or at least 8 to 11 or something like that. I won't, and then I'll go back to Red Dead. So,
does the beta require live or PlayStation Plus?
PlayStation Plus and live. Yep. I don't know if the beta. I don't know if the beta does, but I'm sure it probably does. I don't know. You would have to look at the frequently asked questions on the Bethesda.net website. They would be able to tell you that. I don't know. I'm sure you probably do. I would guess.
I need to re-up it anyway. Might as well just do it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So the only other game I played was I ended up buying StarLink, Battle for Atlas on the Nintendo Switch. I was going back and forth with this game for a while when they announced it, because I was like, man, it's really cool. I really kind of want to play this game, but I don't want to get into the whole Toys to Life thing and collecting all that crap.
Oh, yeah.
So for
Star Fox gotcha.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just Star Fox. I think even if it didn't have Star Fox in it, I think I would have bought it because it looked really cool. But I didn't buy it physically. I ended up buying it digitally. The physical copy came with, for the Switch, it came with the game, the 2 pilots, 2 weapons, and then the ship. If you bought the same thing digitally, that was for $75 physical. The digital edition is $60, and it came with 7 pilots, 6 ships, and 12 weapons, I think. It was pretty much all the toys were unlocked except for like 1 ship, 1 pilot, and 2 weapons, I think is what it was, something like that. So I thought about it and went back and forth and went, well. So I ended up buying it digitally. And maybe someday I'll pick up a physical copy just when it's on sale or on clearance or something like that, just to have it. But it is really fun, believe it or not. It is a really cool game. It's kind of a mix of No Man's Sky and like an adventure game, like maybe like I don't want to say Mass Effect, but it kind of has that feel. It's more No Man's Sky than anything, but the thing about it is you never get out of your ship. So when you fly down on the planet and you're doing missions and you're running from point A to point B on the planet, you're in your ship. So your ship's just hovering over the thing, and it's really weird because it's like, you need to take this item and put it up here. So you have to like use your tractor beam, and then you have to jump like from platform. There's little platforming things where you're jumping in your ship and little missions like that. But overall, though, like the space combat and the stuff like that, it is really, really good. I mean, it is fun. It almost feels like a No Man's Sky for I don't want to say kids, but it's more casual, I guess I would say, because there's like 7 planets, I think 7 or 9 planets, and you can jump to each one of them, and you explore the whole planet to unlock things, and you you get miners and outposts on your side, and you upgrade your outposts. And the more outposts you upgrade, and the higher you upgrade them, the more the enemies won't try to take over that planet because people actually fight back. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to keep them all at bay, and then, you know, progress the story. But the graphics are really, really good on the Switch version. You could tell that they're very scaled down compared to the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, especially with like the water. It doesn't have that shiny, you know, sparkly look to it, but it's still, the graphics are still amazing on it. And even in handheld mode, it looks a little blurry, and it's, you know, it's definitely downgraded, but it's still easy to play and looks good even in handheld mode. It will flip and drain your battery like nobody's business. I think playing that game, I can only play it an hour in handheld mode, and the battery grounds is dry, because it's just, I mean, even playing in handheld mode, the system gets hot. I mean, it's pushing that core to that processor to the limits, apparently. But yeah, I mean, it is really, really good. And then the Star Fox stuff is so seamless into the game that it seems like I would like to play it on a PlayStation or Xbox One, because the Star Fox stuff seems so naturally implemented in it. It looks like it should be part of the story anyway. And if I would play it on another system after playing it on the Switch, I'd be like, something's missing. I just don't understand. Something's weird. But yeah, I mean, and a lot of the people on the Nintendo are like, this is the Star Fox game we want. And yeah, I kind of do too. TFX God says, I put my money on Nintendo tapping StarLink devs to make the next Star Fox, and the fast racing Neo devs to make F-Zero. I could totally see that. After this one, after StarLink, if Nintendo doesn't say, here's the entire Star Fox license, guys, go make a Star Fox game, I would be absolutely shocked. Because the Star Fox stuff in it is great. And from everything that I read, they went into it thinking that they were hoping that Nintendo would come on board. They went ahead and started doing the Star Fox stuff without Nintendo's permission. It was like, we would like to do this, and Nintendo's like, yay, and, you know, so it was easy to yank it out, but they don't feel pasted in. It doesn't feel like it's, oh, here's Star Fox in the background. I can play the entire game of Star Fox, and they treat him just like he is part of the game and has always been there. But yet there are Star Fox only missions that I can go do to unlock this little Star Fox side story thing. It's fantastic. I mean, it is really cool. The ships are awesome, but $25 for toy ships? No, thank you.
Nope.
Nope. I mean, I could buy the whole thing digitally for $80 and get every toy and weapon and everything, and I'd be happy with it, you know, where you could spend $75 just on the starter kit and get 2 pilots, 2 weapons, and a ship, and still have 6 more ships to buy at $25 a piece, and 12 more weapons to buy it. 2 packs or 6 packs of them, I think, and they're $5 each, and those pilots are like $8, and there's, you know, it's like, no. And considering I'm only using Star Fox anyway, who cares? Who cares about the other ships? But I mean, the dog fighting, the space battles and the land battles, they're perfect, and you can just pause your game and go, okay, I need this guy is heat sensitive, so I need a heat gun on this wing, and I can put another heat gun on this wing, or I can do an ice gun, and you can combine weapons, you know, one on each wing, and you could like freeze them and then shoot them with the heat, and it's called a thermal something or another, which gives you more damage, and you have all kinds of boosts that you unlock that you can add to your gun to make it have more ammo or shoot faster or overheat less or this or that. It is really, really good. If you like the Star Foxy, No Man's Sky kind of Mass Effect game, it's not too bad. It's just hard. It's hard to get over that toys thing. And I think they've done it. I think Ubisoft's done something that I think Skylanders and Disney Infinity should have done, is the digital purchase where you can unlock things without buying toys, I think is a way to make that game more successful, because if the toys aren't successful and they can't sell them, but the game is reviewed well and it sells well, they can go, well, we don't need the toys anymore. We can just do digital with, or do a game with, DLC add-ons and go with it. It's fantastic.
There's also the fact of don't make way too many toys in the first place and dig yourself a hole.
Yeah, that's Skylanders right there. Disney Infinity wasn't too bad.
No, that's part of why Disney Infinity went under, is because they made too many of certain toys that nobody wanted.
They made a ton of them, and they weren't hard to get. That was the thing. Some of the Skylanders things was hard to get. Disney Infinity,
they had a lot of limited ones
to get. Because I got all the Disney figures I wanted. They're all over there on the bookcase.
Yeah.
I only bought the Star Wars ones.
I bought all the Star Wars and all the Marvel. Those are really the only ones I bought. I did pick up some of the, like the Disney ones when they were going on clearance for like $5, just because I was like, oh, that's a cool figure and I can use it in the 1.0 set, or I can use it here or use it there. But I really just went with the Star Wars and the Marvel. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I've played, well, before Red Dead come out, I was playing StarLink every day. I think I've put about 15 hours into it so far. And it's great. I'm still having fun with it. It gets a little repetitive with the going in the fetch quests are kind of all the same on all the planets after a while. But I mean, the main story is enough to push you through the game that it's interesting enough to hook you and keep you. But yeah, I mean, I could see it would really be cool because you could play split screen 2-player with it. That would really be neat too, to have 2 people playing.
Yeah, games like that I always think should have a co-op option.
Yeah, and they do. And it's as much as I like the toys, I'm glad they gave you the option not to need them. And for $60, I was like, okay, well that's a $60 game with all the digital stuff. Sure, I'll do that. It was only like 12 gig download too. It wasn't huge, but I sat there for the first hour just going, okay, let me put some weapons together and see how this, that looks all right. That might be cool. No, let me take it apart. And you can even interchange the wings. Like, I can take the wings off the Star Fox ship and pick the wings from another ship and put them on there, and it will make it faster, or put them on backwards and make it, you can just do whatever you want with it. I mean, it's really cool, and it's a really neat idea, and I like how they implemented a lot of the stuff in it. So, other than that, that's about all I've been playing. Robert, tell us about Spider-Man, since that's all you've played. I still haven't finished Spider-Man yet. So
yeah, I have not either. I'm still doing it really slowly. I'm going through, and I basically just clear off every single side quest that I can before I tackle the next main mission.
Yeah.
And doing it that way has really shown to me that the game doesn't have that many story missions. It seems like all I'm doing is side missions, and I'm at like 70% of the way through now, and there are very few main missions that I even remember at this point.
You know why? Because you're doing all the side stuff all the time. By the time you get back to the main mission, you're like, wait, what did I just do like 5 hours ago?
Well, I mean, I know what's going on in the story. It's just that there's so few of those main missions. I'm probably doing like 5 hours of side missions for every 15 minutes of story mission.
The only thing about the side stuff that I didn't like is there's way too many of the crime type.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, there are. There's a lot of those. It's like,
I don't like waiting around for them to pop up either.
Well, what drives me crazy is it's like, oh my gosh, how many people are getting mugged in this town, or how many banks are being robbed? How many banks are in this town on this block? There's 7 banks being robbed. Right.
It's New York, man. There's more banks than Starbuckses.
I don't know. I bet there's a lot.
At least in Spider-Man world.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
I have most of the suits already though, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I had a lot of those, and then the new DLC just came out. It downloaded. It downloaded while I was installing the 100 gigabyte install of Red Dead the other night.
Put the disc
I'm sure I'll pick that up.
Yeah, you highly recommend Red Dead. That's right now. That's my game of the year. It may be my game of this generation, but I haven't played. Well, I haven't played God of War. I was
gonna say I'm still high on God of War.
I haven't hit enough Red Dead enough, because for me Red Dead is low on the totem pole at this point, because I just haven't gotten into it enough.
Yeah.
I need to clear out more of the backlog before I jump into Red Dead.
Yeah. In fact, I will probably put Red Dead on the shelf until I finish Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. And I did get into the Assassin's Creed, or the Google, I forget what they call it. Google something?
Chrome something, right?
Chrome something, the streaming thing where you...
Chromecast? No.
No, it's not.
That's not it.
Google streaming service, right?
I forget what it's called.
I forget what it's called too, but...
Google's game streaming thingy.
Yeah, and I was surprised how well that darn thing worked. It works really, really good. I mean, and it's all done through the Chrome browser. So it was like, they sent me the email, I clicked the link, it took me right to the page, and then all of a sudden it was just like full screen, here's Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And it looked just like I had the whole thing installed on the computer, running it on high end. It looked really, really nice. I didn't have a whole lot of time that night to play it, so I think I played maybe an hour, which was nothing in the Assassin's Creed
it's not much.
But I mean, what little bit of it really, as much as I said, maybe even been last show we were talking about streaming, streaming games, as much as I said I'm not a real big proponent of streaming games and that kind of thing, this worked really well because, I mean, you could play it on anything because it's just through the browser. As long as you've got a good internet connection and Chrome, you're good to go. So, I mean, I hooked my Xbox controller up to the computer. It knew it was a Xbox controller, and we just rolled with it. And Assassin's Creed is pretty cool. I need to play it though because that little beta thing ends January 15th, so I want to try to play more.
Right now,
so
Got some time left.
Yeah, I got some time. Red Dead don't take too much.
Forget about it, and then you're like, oh wait, now it's January.
That's probably what's going to happen. So. But
can you play it on Chrome browser from your phone?
No,
with a Bluetooth controller.
They don't have it right now. I think eventually that's coming, but in the beta right now, it's strictly PC Chrome browser. So even if you have like a Chromebook, you can run it through that. But
I'm sure with the phones, it has to get to be way more restricted on which devices will be able to do it and which ones won't.
Yeah, probably.
Because even though it's streaming, it's still going to have at least some processing power. Yeah. Low-end phones aren't going to be able to keep up.
Yeah. But anyway,
plus, it just limits the amount that they're testing at once, right? So.
Right, yeah. But anyway, I got totally off track, Robert. Sorry.
It's all good. No, it's all good. We were just talking about side quests in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Spider-Man.
And then we took our own side quest.
Yeah, then we took our own side quest, like we always do. That's fine. But,
yeah.
So. That's it, though?
That's about it, man. Okay. Yeah.
Well, the thing
I've only probably put in about 3 hours this week, so it's just I haven't really done much.
The main story, have you hit the third act yet? Because it's kind of like 3 main sections. There's the first part of the game is like, hey, you're Spider-Man, it's cool, so you're about town doing small stuff. Then you have sort of like the mid section after like a big event happens, and then another big event happens later that kind of kicks off the last bit.
I have already done the sort of stealthy section with Miles.
Oh, you're farther than I am then.
Which one? That's the question.
The one with the hacking, the drones.
Oh, yeah, no. I was thinking a different one. There's so many. That's almost all of the things you play in that game with side characters are stealth.
Yeah, they're all sneaky.
So I was like, wait, which one?
The percentage says I'm at 70% through the game.
You still have a lot more game. Because the side stuff doesn't count as much to the percentage as you think it would based on how other games calculate it. It counts some, but yeah, it's mostly the story. So you still probably got quite a bit. Because the third act is like the big event is if you watch the E3 demo of a thing that happened in a prison.
Yeah,
that is kind of the big mission that kicks off the last.
I have not seen that cutscene yet, where that mystery person or whatever.
Yeah. So you still got quite a bit of that game then, actually.
Well, good. I'm ready for more.
Good. Yeah.
Stop doing all those side missions. Let it go.
Man, I got to. Man. I hate them being on my map.
Yeah.
Gotta get them out of there. There's too many of them.
They'll add more, and at some point the story will just be like, no, you should probably not go do this petty thing over here because big danger is over here.
There's not many more they can add. Like that bar is pretty full.
this side of the city is getting blown up. Oh, where's that person that you're going? Get him.
I always find that hilarious. It's like, I'm going to go, it says I need to go to the feast center by like noon, and I'm doing these side missions where it's like, oh, we're going to change it to nighttime, back to daytime, back to nighttime, back to daytime. I'm like, I just did like 5 days in between when I was supposed to go chat with Aunt May.
But that's just in Spider-Man's head. He just thinks it's changing because
he's just insane. The Venom actually is messing with his brain. It's all a story he's made up.
It could be.
Probably.
That would be an interesting twist.
Dreaming it all. It's all just a dream.
It's all Mario's dream. What?
Yeah. What? What?
Wrong? What?
Well,
no, wrong system.
Mario.
Isn't one of the old Mario games he wakes up from a dream somewhere? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. Maybe.
Doesn't matter.
It's been a long time.
It'd be a weird twist for a Spider-Man game. It doesn't matter if it has any reality.
Yeah, it'd be a really big twist. So, Nathaniel, what all have you been playing besides...
Well, I played a little bit of Red Dead Redemption today.
Right.
I bought it on Thursday. I went out to get it at 9 o'clock. Target didn't have it out. I asked for it, and then I didn't play it until today anyway. I was like, okay, sure. Whatever. That way I didn't have to go get it some other time.
Yeah, it's there waiting. The big install's done.
I did put it in the PlayStation Thursday night and let it sit there and install all the data, so at least there was that. But, I played a little bit of Divinity Original Sin 2 with some friends this past week because they had been wanting to play it, and so there was like 2 or 3 different people that I know that had started playing that game, so got in on one night playing co-op with them. It's like, oh, I'll just play for a little bit. And 4 hours later, oh yeah, this game is great. And it's really fun in co-op. So in co-op, you're just loading into whoever's hosting their campaign, and you play as one of the characters in the party. And whoever's the host can pick who gets control of what. So if you have an odd number of people, one person can control 2 of the 4, or you divide it up however you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun just running around the map, and then someone saying, like, running off by themselves, getting into a fight. You're like, well, maybe we should go rescue them because they're gonna die.
Let them die.
Die. And even if we get into the fight, they might die anyway because everything gets caught on fire. Oops, sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have thrown that fireball there amongst all those oil barrels. My bad.
They'll be all right. They'll be okay.
But yeah, we ended up finishing the end of the first chapter, I guess, or whatever of that game where you escape the fortress island. There's like a big climactic like boss fight, I guess, but just large encounter at the end of that chapter right before you leave. That we ended up doing that, and that battle takes a while. And it was fun because I'd played it before, so I knew it was coming in the middle of the fight. They didn't know.
Nobody else
did.
So
it was fun seeing the reactions, like, oh crap. Yeah, that game's awesome. And like, if I hadn't been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I might have just started playing my campaign of Divinity again because I wanted to play my characters that I've spec'd a whole lot higher than them because I'm further into the game. So it's like, hey, I want all of my spells back.
Yeah.
But no, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's one of the reasons I have not played more Red Dead because Assassin's Creed Odyssey is amazing. I've now played it more than Origins.
Wow.
By a few hours. And I've still got plenty of it to go because I've just been doing all sorts of like side stuff and main missions all together. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of different environments, but one of the common things it has is a lot of verticality. There's a lot of just different kinds of mountains and hills and things in that game. So it makes for a lot of fun vistas and views to be like, ooh, I'm going to screenshot that. Screenshot that.
I've seen a lot of screenshots and stuff from that game.
Oh, I've put a bunch of just random ones on Twitter.
Yeah.
My favorite stupid screenshot though is when if you kill somebody and leave them out and one of the other guards like finds them, sometimes they'll pick them up, throw them over their shoulders, and then take them like out of the fort or wherever. So one time I was at a fort and the guy did that. He goes to this edge of like this wall that they're on and just like starts throwing the dead body over the edge. I'm like, all right, sure. That's how you dispose of them. Whatever.
I gotta take the trash out. Whoop.
So I was like, photo mode. Let's take a screenshot of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm also going to start. I've done a couple of them. I'm going to start taking screenshots of leaping off of random tall things because I don't take fall damage anymore. You just do flying leaps off of things.
Right.
So it's almost like doing the leap of faith, like all the time if you're above like a certain height. And then you just do like a little tumble flip in the air, and then you hit the ground, and then probably roll there unless you hit it where you just land on your feet. Either one. And it's fun. It's never not fun to leap off of things. I found that out.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
So it's like, hey, I'm going to Superman dive off of this. I did a whole bunch of fun quests involving the Minotaur and Labyrinth and stuff of legend and things. Greek mythology. And there's 2 different paths of that. One is like, hey, here's the secret things that you found that's probably the actual stuff. And here's a bunch of stupid bandits. They're trying to swindle people by dressing somebody up as a Minotaur and stealing all their money. Doing both of those quests. So now I have like a giant Minotaur mask head thing that I could wear as a helmet if I wanted to. And it looks really, really dumb.
Indoors, right?
It looks like ancient Greek cosplay.
Oh, gosh.
It's hilarious. Also, I have the unicorn horse skin. So it's like a white horse with the unicorn and rainbows fly off your feet.
There you go.
Totally historically accurate.
I've seen that in history books. I've read about it. It's
But the coolest thing that's happened so far is this game is hinted at it in the first 40 hours I played, and has some stuff tie-ins to the first Civilization stuff they've had in previous Assassin's Creed games. And then I hit a part where it's just like, oh yeah, instead of just hinting at it, we're just going to jump whole hog into this for a little bit. And like, here's this crazy stuff that's happening. That was like, yes, weirdness. I love it. We haven't enough good weirdness in Assassin's Creed games in a while. So just the way that game's building on that stuff, I'm like, oh, I want to see where this goes. Because it's really weird, because the actual like modern day stuff is just like, oh, here's modern day, it still exists, so bye back to the Animus. It's like you're there for less than 5 minutes whenever you pop out of it. It's like you get to the part in your Assassin's Creed game where it's like, what? You have to force you out of the stuff that you're playing to go back to remind you that you're in a simulation. Yeah, it's an Assassin's Creed game. We have to have it.
And that happened in the first 5 minutes that I was playing when I tried it out. It was like immediately, it's like, well, I need to go here and find this guy. Okay, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, here we go. I'm out in the real world again.
And in the 50 some hours I've played the game, I've popped out twice, other than the intro of the game. And that totals about 5 minutes total between the two.
That's good. I like that.
To the point where it's like not good, because it's like, why bother at that point?
Well, that's true.
Like, I like the character enough, and you can go and read all our emails and stuff like you could in Origins as well. And that kind of fills in some of the stuff if you want to get it. But I just wish they did just a little bit more with it. Yeah. And it looks like they might be now, based on what the last one was. So it ties in a little bit more than it did in Origins, as far as like what's going on in the modern day, what they're trying to look for, and then what's happening in the actual story. It sort of actually relates a little bit.
Is the Abstergo stuff even like connected between the games anymore, or is it just like a different faction of it?
I mean, Abstergo is mentioned, but you're not in Abstergo. So just like, hey, they're trying to find us those pesky Templars. We got out of that hideout 5 minutes before they got here. But the good thing is, it's not like so in like the Desmond games where they had all the first Civilization stuff tied into the modern day stuff. That stuff's actually in the ancient Greek historical part of the game. So you're finding some of that type of things. I mean, because the spear that you have in the game is an artifact of the first Civilization. Yeah, it's all weird, fancy weapon, and you upgrade it by going to this like thing that you put it in. It's got some weird computer voice saying upgrading, yada yada yada. It's like, okay, weird techno babble, and then hey, your spear is level 2.
Oh,
now you've unlocked this and that because of it. But so that's like the first part of the game. You get little hints of it, and where I've gotten now, it's like, oh, this is a lot bigger part of this game than I thought it was going to be. This is awesome. Yeah. Just because of what you actually find. I don't want to say much more than that because it's really cool, and I don't want to just ruin it for people.
Yeah.
Like, if you like that stuff from previous Assassin's Creed game, there's actually quite a bit of that here. Plus, just the main game itself of running around and doing things is really great too.
Yeah,
so
cool.
I'm going to continue playing that game until it's done, and Red Dead's gonna wait.
I understand.
Like trying to be neck deep in both, and it just won't work.
Yeah, when you got 2 games that are 50+ hours of gameplay, it's hard to try to play both of them at the same time. It just is.
It does make Red Dead feel what? It felt way slower for the movement and clunkier. Clunky is not the word, just heavy for the movement because of the style of how Rockstar does their games, where it's all like physically doing all these things, and it's not like directly going with the controller. The character has to move, and it's all a little bit just different kind of a system, whereas Assassin's Creed is way more nimble, and you're just like running around and doing all sorts of stuff. You're not a cowboy trudging through the snow.
Exactly.
So yeah, I love that game. It's my favorite Assassin's Creed since probably Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I like it. It's better than Black Flag.
Wow, speaks pretty highly.
I really like Black Flag, but no, this one's better.
Well, it's got the boat stuff in it. That's what I liked about back.
It does have boat stuff, which I've only done some of because I'm like, I get a little bit here and there. I don't really love it enough to just keep going around destroying ships for no good reason. Yeah. It's like, I could sail around and destroy these boats, but other than getting some resources, there's not much of a reason to, and except for the occasional mission where it's like, hey, go destroy this blockade or whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, why spend the time sailing to the islands when you can just fast travel if you've already been there?
Exactly. That makes sense. That's the way it'll be in Red Dead eventually when I unlock, fast travel in that. It'll be like, I could ride for point. The trouble is, when in Red Dead, I start riding, and then you bump into people to do little missions or ambushes, or the one guy that really ticks me off is like, Mister, could you come here and help me? And you stop, and he's like, no, and then he shoots you because he wants to steal your horse.
No, my favorite is you load up your horse. You get all your stuff going on. Then I'm like, man, I'm like 20 minutes from camp. I got to ride back, dump my stuff. That's all part of the game.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
It's a gorgeous game too, and they do a good job of mixing up like different islands have different environment feels to them. So this one's a lot more deserty, and there's cactuses, or this one's a little more tropical feeling with white sandy beaches, or this one's more mountainous. So it's all got plenty of things to go explore and look at, and like, hey, what's in this random cave? Oh, look, there's some bandits. Let me go kill them. Oh, there's a military camp. Let me get those resources from their supply chests. There's always something fun just around the corner to do.
Yeah.
And it has no shortage of great quest names with stupid puns. I love it.
That's funny. Well, I'm glad you like it.
Like I did one called Minotaur de Force. So it's like,
nice.
like stuff like that. Just throughout all, like, if it's not got a pun in the quest name, it's like, oh,
well,
you didn't try hard for that one.
Well, that's boring.
Because like so many of them do that, you're like, oh wait, you didn't put one in there. That's weird.
They must have just threw this one in at the last minute. They didn't even bother to come up with a witty name for it. I want to play that game, and it's like, well, I've got it for free. I'll try to squeeze it in, but
I signed up for that too. I didn't see emails, but I didn't get in. But I'm glad you got in, John. You're able to test out the services.
Yeah, it's really
I liked
cool.
Origins,
and I've got a pretty good Chromebook. It's a couple years old, but it'd be interesting to see how it would run. I'm sure it would run just fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, because it pulls all that from the server. So it's
as long as your internet's good,
yeah,
the machine's not doing most of the work.
Yeah, it's just all your download speed. So, and it gives you a test at the beginning, and it's like, yep, you're good. Okay, it'll be fine. Here we go.
Give you a big thumbs up or a frowny face. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of like the Pit Boy giving a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I wonder if they throttle resolution on speed. So like, oh, you're only at this much internet, you get 720. At this much internet, you can get 1080. Because that would be the bottleneck there. It's because you're not processing the graphics.
Yeah.
graphic settings could be more. How big of a video can you stream, smoothly?
Yeah, I don't know. It's that's an interesting thing because, like I said, what little bit I played it looked like it was running high end, everything on high, and I don't know. I don't remember if I could go in and see what graphic settings it was on or not. I'll have to do that. I don't
doubt
know.
it because that's not going to matter because since it's running off all their servers, they can throw as they want, so they don't have to have different graphic settings. It's just all here. Everything's turned up to max.
Right.
It's just how much resolution are we going to send video wise back to you.
Yeah.
It's the same as like, you're streaming something on Netflix and then it cranks the resolution down because your internet's slowed down.
Right, yeah.
Well,
a lot of that Netflix stuff will cache. I've noticed that a lot of streaming stuff caches, so you don't get that buffering or, and stuff. Which gaming, you really can't do that because, you got the input controller.
Like, hit button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's like.
Wait.
Can't,
that doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So
must pull off. Yeah.
I need to look at it more though, just to see who the what to wear. What I really want to try to do is I want to hook my PC up to the TV and run the Chrome browser on the TV and go and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
On the 55-inch TV, which would not be hard to do.
I'd also be curious to see also frame rate wise how they're capping it, because if you have a high refresh monitor like I do, could you get that to show up or not?
I don't know.
Streaming, or is it just capped at like 60 or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's interesting. I don't know if I could. Trying to figure out if I could find out. I don't know if I could find out anything about that, but I just need to boot it up one day and just go, okay, let me pause it and see if I can go into this and what if any of this stuff will change the way it works, or so I just need to tinker with it more, but I've got all week. But all right, well,
you really have to keep me posted about this. I'm looking. Maybe you should tweet it. If you tweet a little bit about it, I definitely would follow along.
All right, I'll let you know. I mean, I'm interested in it because a lot of people are saying that this is going to be the future of how we game and blah 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 blah. I don't know, but I mean,
you live in some place that has crap.
Yeah, maybe when everybody gets into
future in like 20 years or something, but.
Yeah.
Not near future for everyone, at least.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
It could be a cool option if it works that well, and it can work that well for every game, and not just think that they've thoroughly tweaked to make sure that it does.
Yeah.
And it could be a cool option. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's get into the news. There wasn't a ton of news really the past 2 weeks because everything that I found was either Assassin's Creed Odyssey stuff, or it was Red Dead Redemption stuff,
all Red Dead.
Or Fallout beta stuff. So it was
a bunch of just tiny things that are kind of like, that's not really news, but we need something to put on our website, so we might as well type something up.
Why not? One thing that I found that I thought was kind of interesting is some of the things that could come into play if you do a PSN name change. There was apparently a disclaimer that had come up on some forum that some of the beta members, apparently the beta's been rolling out to certain people, and it says that it notes that not all games and applications will support the online ID change feature, so players who use it may lose access to content including virtual currency, game progress, saved game data, leaderboards, trophy progress. So it also notes that some games may not function properly, even offline, and your prior ID could remain visible to other players in some situations.
Yeah, basically everything could break, and you're screwed.
It blows my mind.
It sounds like you should just wait until the PS5 comes out, and then just start fresh with a new name.
Yeah, I mean, it blows my mind that so much tied to your gamer tag on PSN could cause so much trouble.
Well, it makes sense for some content if it's looking at that specifically for your account is your name, so therefore some of the stuff that's tied to your account is not going to show up because it's looking at just the name. There's no other identifier for it.
Yeah.
Because somebody was dumb when they programmed it back in the day, and so trying to get around that is proving to be difficult. Maybe, who knows? But
yeah,
it's
I don't know.
It's
the thing
crazy.
is, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Xbox Live has no issues. You just pay the however much it is, $10.
Well, they had a unique identifier beyond your name. It was your name was tied to a number, and that number is what got moved around to the different names.
It's just weird that I don't know. It kind of, to me, it kind of shows the cracks in what Sony did with online back on the PlayStation 3, I guess it would be, with these with these games. It's just so weird. It's like
you would think they would have had it figured out by now. They've had all this time.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, it's been a long time now, but
it sounds like to me that they probably were trying to work on it. Maybe not at like 100% speed. We have to finish this right now and fix it. But it's just one of those problems is like, hey, more things crop up. The more we look into it, this is harder than we thought.
Yeah, it's just, it's crazy. It just absolutely blows my mind. One thing, let's see, TF God said 10 years and everyone will be streaming. Streaming is the future. xCloud is aiming for a far lower required bandwidth threshold than Google Stream. Streaming being standard will come faster than you think. Oh, I do. As long as you have that speed, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Streaming itself like that, sure. In the next like 5 years, I would say we would probably have at least one or two good options for it. It's not going to take over everything else though for a long time.
It won't be
it's not going to be something everybody wants, right? It's just going to be another option in the market.
Yeah, I think.
And some people it'll be great. Some people like you guys, especially who like to collect things. Streaming, if that's all there was, you'd be like really sad that you can't get those shiny boxes.
I mean, that's the thing is I like to have a physical copy in my hand. For somebody who buys a lot of digital games, me, I buy a lot of digital games. I also buy a lot of physical games too, or I catch them on sale or something like that, because those servers are not always going to be there. I guarantee it. It's not always going to be there. So,
I mean, it's also one of those things of like, it's a more casual thing. Like, okay, I want to stream a thing. I don't care about it being the best it possibly could be. It's good enough, right?
Yeah.
Versus someone who's like, hey, I want the absolute best looking playing thing. I want it to run super well. I bought this really expensive console or really expensive PC to play these things. You're going to download or buy those games because streaming.
I mean, even think about the movie industry, right? I mean, just as what you were saying, Nathaniel, if you want to get the highest quality, you go out and you buy your Blu-ray and you put it in your Blu-ray player and it will be your 4K picture. But if you're going out and you're streaming, even if you're streaming a 4K video, it's not true 4K. It will have something.
I mean, that's the thing is like, hey, have a bunch of different options for all the different types of people out there, and then whatever is good for that particular person is what they'll gravitate to. So you have people who have all digital movies. You have people who like, I have to have the 4K Blu-rays. You have people like, my kids are only getting DVDs because they'll destroy them anyway. Yeah. And everywhere in between. So options are great.
If you're like me, who buys the movies with the digital code and then watches them and never uses the physical media, they just have it on their shelf.
Or like
because I cannot let go. Well, I can't let go of that though with movies. I just can't. I can't let go.
I buy them and I don't use the codes. I just play the disc.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I use the code.
I just want the code.
I could probably dig
quite a few codes out for you because there's most of them are probably expired though too because.
I'll sort through them.
I'll be more than happy. Split them up half and half. Codes, I'm sure. I'll be more than happy to dig through those codes.
I'm glad that they've started to stop doing the DVD Blu-ray combo packs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I never do the DVD.
I always like to get the Disney movies in the DVD and Blu-ray combo packs because the wife would take the DVDs to school on holidays or when there was nothing, there was summer before school was out to show the kids movies. Now we can't do that, but the internet is good enough at school, and with the movie sharing, the Movie Anywhere thing, all of my digital movies are also on my Amazon account. So all she has to do is just log into the Amazon account and boom, all my movies are right there. So she can just go through our Disney library and go, we're going to watch Cinderella today, or everybody, they watch Frozen all the time, so Frozen is what they'll watch, But
no more Frozen.
But
show you real Disney animation.
That's the one thing that I can't let go of is movies. It's like I'd much rather watch them digital, have them digital because I can go anywhere with them and watch them when I'm on the road or this or that. But at the same time, at home on my shelf, I have to have a hard copy of it, just because.
Well, it's also, another wrinkle. Like, so the biggest majority nowadays is people either streaming it from something like Spotify or Pandora, etc., all those services that are out there, or they have MP3s on their phone.
Yeah.
Or there's still LPs are back because there's enthusiasts who want that. There's CDs. There's all the stuff for all the old people or all the people who have this niche thing like, I want to collect this cool item. All those different things still exist, even though one of them is, the biggest market for sure. There's still plenty of room for other markets out there. I think video games will prove to be the same. We'll have streaming, we'll have download, we'll have buy the games.
I can't tell you the last time I actually bought music. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking physical. Like I bought.
Physical, I have no idea, but yeah,
physical,
MP3s.
Like it has to be 3 or 4 years, and a CD.
With digital, it's far more than that with me. With either one of them, ever since like Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music's come out, I have not bought. Because I mean, even like normally, like the Spider-Man game would come out, and I'd be like playing the game and like, ooh, I love that music. I'm gonna go buy that soundtrack. Now it's like, ooh, let me just check Amazon Unlimited and see if it's on there. Oh, it's there. So I'll just download it to my phone, and there it is. I don't have to. I've gotten over that hurdle way long time ago. It's like I can't tell you the last time I bought music. I just pay my $8 a month for Amazon Unlimited music, and we're good to go. So. But yeah, it'll be interesting though. I'm very, very interested to see how xCloud works. That one's the one that's piqued my interest, and it's piqued my interest more so after actually getting my hands on the Google and trying it and seeing how well the Google worked. It's like, okay, Microsoft, let me see what you got, because this is more your realm to me than Google's is as far as gaming stuff goes. So let's see how well yours, stacks up with this. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm hoping we see some xCloud stuff at the next E3 or the GDC or something. I hope.
Who knows?
But speaking of limited stuff, digital stuff that's on physical, I got an interesting email this week from Limited Run Games, and the email basically said that Best Buy will begin stocking certain Limited Run Games titles. It's going to start with Golf Story and Ukulele, which is interesting because, you could buy those directly from Limited Run Games. And the way they do their Switch games is they do pre-orders for 2 weeks. And once that 2 weeks is up, they never print any more of them again. They only print how many they pre-order, and that's it. Well, so they say. I know they print more than that because local video game stores end up getting shipments from them with lots of copies of games, so there's more. They're printing more than they actually, but there are a quote unquote limited number of them that they print because they do have.
I bet this is. I haven't read into it, but I bet this is them going to Best Buy saying, "Hey, we've sold quite a few of these ourselves. They've sold well outside of it, and they have fun cartoony art. All the parents will buy them for the kids. How about you try these?"
Actually, it was the exact opposite of what you
said. Best Buy, hey, we want it?
Yep, Best Buy came to them and said, we're interested in carrying certain ones. They're not going to carry all of them, but only certain ones that they print. And they get to look at what they've got coming out this year and say, we'll carry this one, this one, this one, this one. Now, my understanding is that it's still going to be a limited run at Best Buy, but you will be able to go in-store or online to buy them. The cover art that will be included on the Best Buy will be different than the cover art that they sell on the limited run site.
Why?
Well, because they want to. The reason why, and the reason why they're doing it, they don't say it, is because they want to differentiate. This was bought from Limited Run. This was bought from Best Buy. Only because collectors will either only want the ones from Best Buy or will only want the ones from Limited Run.
Because you made them different. If
exactly,
they're the same, they wouldn't care.
Well, and then the other thing,
they want one of each now.
Well, and the other thing is collectors will be more sought after the ones from Limited Run because they know they are a quote unquote limited print, and they sell those things online for stupid amounts of money. Some of those games sell for hundreds of dollars, and it is crazy. I mean, they have fake made a collector's thing that blows my mind. I buy their Switch games because, one, they have pre-orders available, so it's easy to get. The ones that they don't do pre-orders for, they usually sell out in 5 minutes. It's ridiculous. And it's ridiculous to try to get them. I quit trying a long time. I quit trying a long time ago. So when they started doing the pre-orders for the Switch ones, I'm like, great. I really want Golf Story. I really want it physical. I'll buy that one. I really want this one. I'll buy that one. So and such and so and so. But it blows my mind, though, that Best Buy came to them and said, hey, we want to carry these. You'll be able to buy that cover art from Limited Run for 99 cents. They will ship you the cover art. If you want the cover art from Best Buy to go along with the cover art from the Limited Run to differentiate the two, it'll still have. It's the weirdest thing. It's like I don't know if I told Eric this or not. I said now all of a sudden your Limited Run games are not really limited anymore.
Yeah, because now
they're still limited because who knows how many Best Buy will get.
It's
true.
It's interesting that Best Buy went to them because in my mind, there's like 20 more options that are far better than Best Buy based on my own personal experiences shopping there, which I've ranted about a lot. And Gamers Club Unlocked, even though it's gone away, many of us still have it. It doesn't apply to these games. Yeah. Not really a big deal. I mean, I'm still, like John said, Switch games that I buy and occasional the PS4 ones are ones I want to play.
Yeah.
That's why I only have a handful of the ones on Switch and a handful of the PS4 limited run games. And I bought a couple because, well, they're going to be.
This is definitely like, hey, we think we can sell these games on the shelves. There's no other way for us to get to the shelves. Let's
it might make it easier for some people. It might grow, all of a sudden like, oh, hey, what's this? And
or it'll just get in front of a completely different group of people.
Well, that's what I think.
Is,
yeah,
right?
I mean, you have a lot of people. If I wasn't on Twitter, if I wasn't on social media, I wouldn't even know who limited run games are.
Yeah,
and there are those people out there that don't, the gamers out there that aren't on social media, so they don't know who limited run is. I don't know. I mean, I think it's good because you'll be able to get games that, you don't have to beat somebody over the head for online to get. But at the same time, it's like, it just seems really weird. But it seems
not weird to me at all.
It
seems like a great thing.
Well, I mean, it is a good thing, but it's I don't know. It's
possibly going to be a way to keep limited run games going because it's just another income.
Yeah,
that's an interesting way to look at
it. It gets other people able to get these games that don't know what limited run games is, but they go to Best Buy all the time and see it on the shelf like, oh, that's a cool game.
Yeah.
Especially with maybe they don't do digital games, they don't go into the marketplace on there and know that these things are available. They could look at it and be like, oh, that's cool. It's just another way to get these games in front of people.
Yeah. Well, but
makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean that part does make sense, but my thing is the whole thing with limited run games is it's in the title of their company,
and I say that's good that they're going away from that because that will allow them to get bigger and some of these games might get published.
I agree.
In a bunch of more places. People are just getting hung up on like, oh, this has been limited so far and it's in the name of the thing. Well, change the name of the company.
Well,
we have to. We're just a publisher at this point.
I think what people
like. Who cares?
Well,
they're all stuck on like, oh, it's not going to be limited, so they're worth nothing.
Well,
stop doing that. That's not the point. The point is to let people play games.
Well,
man.
But I know that's the point is, but that's the whole point. That was the point to me of limited run games to begin with. They said, oh, we're here to preserve digital games on physical media, but we're going to print a very limited amount of those and put them behind a crazy wall to get them. So you ended up making a community of flippers. Angry people. I mean, there were many games.
And those people can just go away and shut up because this company started that way and they've grown beyond that. And if it becomes hey, now all these games are than they used to be, and you don't have to like rush for 5 minutes to a website to maybe get a copy of it.
Yeah.
That's good for everyone except for people who are trying to like flip it for a whole bunch of money on eBay.
There's two local guys who have every single game that Limited Run has put out, and I'm just like, I understand why you're getting those. At the same time, like that's a lot of time and effort and a lot of money to sink into something that's artificially inflated.
What blows my mind is the amount of people who, almost every week Limited Run brings out at least one game. Sometimes they bring out 3 or 4. And people every week will buy one copy of every game that they come out with. It's and I'm like, oh my gosh. Or
sometimes they'll buy the standard and the collector's edition. And I'm just like, dude.
I mean, usually every week they have a bundle. So let's say they have the Mega Bundle. It'll have one copy of the regular, one copy of the collector of everything that they brought out this
bonuses
week.
Too.
And bonus stuff. And it usually is about $300. They bring out one a week, and they sell out in 5 flipping seconds. And I'm like, where are these people getting their money?
Because who's got the deep pockets?
Yeah, somebody's got the deep pockets. Because holy fright, if I spent $300 a week on video games, my wife would string me up.
She's like, you keep getting these boxes, and you're paying to cap it. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Crazy. I'm looking through the email here. Let's see. Will Best Buy carry everything you released? 100% no. It's very specific games for now. The partnership is underway.
It's going to be the bigger games that the most.
Yeah.
Golf Story makes sense. I was interested that they chose the other title. I was like, well, that's interesting.
Yooka-Laylee is very shelf friendly.
Yeah, it is. It's
got cute mascot characters.
Cute mascot guys. So they'll buy. I want it. I've wanted it. It looks cool. It's by the guys that did Banjo-Tooie or Banjo-Kazooie. I want it.
That's why I don't want it.
I didn't want to pay $50.
The only good Banjo game is Nuts and Bolts.
Yeah.
And it's still going to be $50 at Best Buy.
Yeah.
And so.
Let's see. I was just trying to see here. Let's see. Won't going to the retail make these not limited? No, Best Buy is getting these in limited quantities with no ability to reorder once they are sold out.
It's not going to be like, hey, they have as many copies of Yooka-Laylee as Red Dead on the shelves. It's just they're not going to have that many.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't even sell that many.
Let's see. We're not sure how Best Buy splits their stock among stores, but we're expecting it to be low quantities they've purchased from us. So there will only be 3 to 7 copies at any given title on the shelf. Let's see. Best Buy has expressed most interest in. We are still overall printing runs of 25,000 units. Most traditional games receive initial runs of 100,000 copies. So, I mean, you're still a quarter of what a normal run would be. But Best Buy has also
And I think that people are just getting way too hung up on this is a limited thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it could still be a little less limited and let more people into it. Like,
well,
stop trying to close the doors on your stupid exclusive club. Let people get
exactly
they'd be interested in.
And
there's nothing bad about it at all.
That's what I've always said that they should have done from the beginning, like what they do with the Switch. The Switch games are the only ones they take pre-orders on. Those are the only ones they take pre-orders on, and they're only open for 2 weeks. You're still limited. You may only sell 10,000 copies, but that's a guaranteed 10,000 copies that are going out. It's better I'd rather you limit it that way than the Vita games where they're like, we're only printing 2,500 copies of them. Hurry up and, send it. And by the time you get on there, they're gone. I mean, it's just dumb, and it really aggravates me.
I'm surprised that they don't do the thing that, like, which the T-shirt thing that does the campaign. So it's like, if you don't get in, it's like, hey, you have to have so many people, and then we'll print another run of them. Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't done that kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've read every excuse under the sun why they don't, and I know it's a difference in Sony and Nintendo, because Nintendo allows less print than Sony does. Sony says you can only have. The minimum is like 2,500, and anything above you have to order like 5,000 or something like that. So they don't want to set on a lot of unsold stuff, and I get that. But it's still, I think you could do pre-orders on the Sony stuff and be like, well, we only pre-ordered 2,500 or 2,300 copies of this. We'll go ahead and buy the other 200 copies, because they send them out to like Lost Arcade in Greensboro. They get copies of all the limited run games to sell on the shelf. Now, I don't know how many copies of each they get. I know somebody that works there, so he could probably tell me. But, I mean, it's like, but I mean, still, they're available. I know one of the places in Columbus, one of the mom and pop stores in Columbus get them. So I don't know how many they get of each one, but, they do get some. So they do print extra copies, even though they are limited. And they take them to trade shows.
What they do,
stuff,
they're small enough of a company that going to be limited just compared to what all the major publishers put out on shelves. It's way more limited.
And they're just right down the street from
counts.
you. They're right down the street from you. Go knock on their door and
ask them, hey, what's up with this?
Like, dudes, I got a question. Jade Raymond leaves EA Studios, or leaves EA's Motive Studios. I did not read this. I missed this one somehow. Let's see. Motive Studios founder
something like that.
Has left the company. Samantha Ryan, who currently runs EA Mobile, Maxis, and BioWare, will take on the Motive Studios as well. What were they known for?
I don't remember, but they were working on one of the Star Wars games.
Battlefront 2?
No, they took over. I think they've done some pieces of stuff, I think, here and there, but they took over the Visceral project.
Gotcha.
Whatever it was going to be turned into, I
Raymond,
think. I couldn't remember wrong.
Raymond founded EA's...
never put out a game since she got hired at EA, and now she's leaving again.
Raymond founded EA's Motive Montreal and lead development on the campaign for Star Wars Battlefront 2. So they did the campaign on Battlefront 2, which I bought that game for $10. I haven't even played it yet. I bought it just for the campaign. On YouTube. I just bought it for the campaign.
I don't know if this is actually the case, but I guess that, hey, this is another thing of somebody who is known for and wants to make certain kinds of games. And those are the kinds of games that EA is not interested in making anymore.
Yeah, that seems to be the go around here lately. With
there's been a few examples of it over the last couple of years of people dropping out of things, or getting forced out because studios closed or whatever. So I think it's just another example of that.
Yeah, I think so too. Days Gone has been delayed to April 2019. It was originally coming out, I think, like February 12th, and that's a good thing because there was like 14,000 games coming out that day.
Dude, February is super crowded, so if they push it back. The fun thing about this, though, is you think, okay, if it's coming out in April, then we know, I mean, not for sure, but for sure that The Last of Us 2 isn't coming till 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no way they're going to put two similar, like they're not similar exactly, but two zombie games out in the same year.
Post-apocalyptic games, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
That sounds right. 2020 seems like a fine time for it.
Well, I
didn't think it was going to show up till then anyway, just because Last of Us Part 2 is going to be super complicated to put together.
Last of Us Part 2 will be kind of like Last of Us Part 1. It'll kind of be on both the PlayStation 4 and the next play. It'll be close
it'll be at the very end of this, and then probably...
Yeah, they'll do like a
on the next one.
Yeah, or however they're going to do it. If they're going to do it like Xbox, where it's backwards compatible with updated graphics, or who knows, I don't know. We don't know how any of that stuff's going. Red Dead Redemption 2 companion app points at a PC version of the game. What?
No way.
Yeah, well, like they haven't officially said anything, but within the actual companion app, there in the lines of codes, there's some like parameter things that directly talk about PC. So like, hey, auto connecting to an IP PC, and Oculus is in one of the variables and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
that's weird.
Hey, Oculus isn't on console, so it's like they wrote the companion app with a PC version in mind. So at some point, at least, they were planning on it. Like, come on. That was probably going to come out at some point within the next year.
Probably. I mean, I would think so.
They're gonna have the game come out, and it's had all of its attention. Then they're gonna have online come out in the next month or two. That'll give them another bump in attention. And then at some point, they'll probably add a bunch of stuff to the online, and then they'll announce the PC version, and that'll get them a bump in attention. And then they'll actually release it, and then they'll add more stuff to online because it's now on PC, and they'll just keep the attention trained as long as they can possibly do it, just like they did with GTA 5.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we always wanted the last Red Dead on PC and never got it. So, I hopefully this one will come out on PC. It will be interesting to see it run.
If they hey, Red Dead Redemption 2 and 1 coming to PC, I'll be I want both.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because when Red Dead became backwards compatible on Xbox One, I was like, oh my gosh, I can play it on Xbox One with updated graphics. This is great.
I just want to play it on PC or something, because I'm sure the Xbox backwards compatible one is like this too. Is the frame rate won't chug.
Yeah.
Because I went back and played it before after it had been out a long time ago. I was like, I'm gonna play this again. And I was like, I forgot how much this chugs sometimes.
Yeah, I tell you, it runs a lot better on Xbox One S. If you play it on an Xbox One X, it's way better on that. I mean, even graphic wise, you from draw distance and everything. It's really this, and I said it in the chat with us. After seeing stuff on Red Dead Redemption 2, would make me want to play it on Xbox One X just because how pretty it looks on a 4K TV. Even though I don't usually game on my 4K TV, I would make an exception for Red Dead.
Okay, Red Dead, you get behind the villain.
Yeah. I'm sorry, honey, you're going to have to go watch your TV shows somewhere else because I am playing Red Dead in 4K. But
your random reality TV show will probably look just fine.
Oh, no, she don't watch those. It'd be something on HGTV, probably.
That would also look...
NCIS, she likes that show, too. Those are the only shows that I can think of off the top of my head that she...
Yeah, you don't need those in 4K.
No, they're fine. But that's all I've got for news. One thing I will say before we fully close out is Ryan has been posting a question once a week on our Facebook page. I think it's, if you just search The Gamers Lounge on Facebook, you'll find it. I don't know the exact address. It's on our website. This week he was asking about what your favorite controller was of all time. And there was some interesting responses in there. One of them was, a couple of them were they really liked the N64 controller. That was their favorite controller.
No.
And, I was immediately like, no, not the N64
younger
controller.
than me if you think the N64 is your favorite.
My personal favorite controller right now is the Xbox One controller. I really like that controller, the feel of the triggers, the force feedback.
Not the Ouya?
Triggers. No.
No.
It's very close between it and the Nintendo Pro controller. Those are the two controllers I really like. Probably my favorite controller of all would either be the Super NES controller or the NES controller. The NES and the Super NES gamepad, just that gamepad was tremendous because Nintendo had a patent on it. Nobody else could make a D-pad like that. They had an exclusive patent on the D-pad until Dreamcast, I think. That's why
Super Nintendo, sure. The NES, hell no. Square controller loses points. Sorry.
The shape of the controller, it's the feel of the buttons and the reaction of the buttons.
It's the feel of the corners digging into your hands.
A lot of people don't like the Dreamcast controller because it bites into your hands and after long playtime.
Doesn't bite my hands.
It doesn't bother me, but that seems to be a common complaint. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And if you don't like the N64 controller, they have the Gamepad Plus.
Does the VMU count as a controller?
Plus?
Yeah.
Which,
Retro Fighters.
No. The Gamepad Plus. It's an N64 controller made by Intech, I think.
Oh yeah, but those things are expensive if you can find one. They are not.
They're not bad. I found one a couple months ago for like $20.
The Hori are the best, and those things
the Hori
are for
really
$100.
I think my favorite's the PS3 prototype banana controller.
Oh, the boomerang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, mine's probably a tie between GameCube and either 360 or Xbox One because those are about even.
Yeah, they're about the same.
Although the triggers on the Xbox One are pretty nice.
They are really nice. I mean, they just feel good.
They're both about the same type of controller configuration with slight differences. It's kind of like the Xbox One's the same thing. We just modernized it a little bit.
I'm a Sega man, so the Genesis was always a good one, but I didn't the ball joint on the directional pad. I mean, that's the way it was. It was on a ball, and when you moved
I didn't like that D-pad.
It was too mushy. I
really like the GameCube controllers, like triggers and stuff, though. Just the groove, deep groove for your fingers. And
I think that one felt the best.
It's just a really nice. And even like getting an old GameCube controller, it still feels solid. It doesn't like get super weak like a lot of other controllers do. or feel flimsy. It was a very well built controller.
Yeah. But I tell you what, when they first announced the GameCube and I saw pictures of that controller, I was like, what in the blue heck is going on with this controller? But then you actually get one in your hand, you start playing with it, you're like, oh man, this.
Well, yeah,
this
especially if
great.
you go back and you feel how the triggers feel when you're pressing them in and how deep they are, and it just nothing else really does that anymore.
Yeah,
the game. I like the GameCube controller. It's pretty comfortable for long gaming sessions.
Yeah, I use my Wavebird a lot on the GameCube. That's what I go with all the time. Yeah, I
never had a Wavebird of my own. It's only like my roommates who had them.
And as soon as wireless controllers came out, good wireless controllers came out, I was all in. I was like, I had to have them. You know, it's like I was a big fan of the Duke controller for the Xbox, the original Xbox, even though that thing was massive, but my hands are massive. So it was the first controller that I could actually hold on to and not like hit a bunch of things at one time. I'm like, this is great. The only problem I had with it was the excuse me. The buttons.
Those buttons were uncomfortable, man.
They were way uncomfortable. They were like raisinets or runts. They were like runts on there. They were hard and they were really tiny.
They were bulbous.
Yeah, they were bulbous. They were very bulbous, man. And you just I got blisters.
A controller with
blisters
candy pieces for buttons now.
Candy. Ooh, Skittles.
Yeah.
You can just eat it and replace it.
But when the S version came out, I bought one and I liked it really well too.
I like the original Xbox S controller. I thought it was fantastic.
I prefer that offset sticks rather than the two sticks together like the PlayStation. I like the offset. There's
the PlayStation controllers with them being here. My hands cramp way more easily than the offset ones.
Mine do too.
I don't have a problem with either of them. My argument always was like when you put your hands out, your thumbs are naturally in the same place. They're not offset like this, so like whatever.
They are offset for the way I like to hold
Mine
it.
Mine are, the way I like to hold it.
In my hands, like not like if you hold your hands like this, sure, but
because you want to know how you want to know where most of my left stick is on my hand, right here. It's below my knuckle on my thumb because I like because I like the way my hand, my hand feels. I'm holding this controller like this. So the PlayStation controllers, I'm usually like this with them. I'm way high on the stick because it doesn't feel comfortable to me.
You just need a bigger controller.
Well, and that's
I will say the PlayStation controllers, like by the time we've gotten to the PS4, is way better than it was way back in like PS1 or PS2. Those controllers.
Oh yeah.
I did not like how they felt.
The only problem I have with
PS4 ones, it's not bad.
The only problems I have with the PS4 controllers is I break the triggers like nobody's business. They just break for me.
I've never broken one.
Enthusiastic.
I guess. I don't know.
Angry button pressing.
TFX God says GameCube D-pad is awful and it's too small and hard, and that little Z shoulder button was awful. It doesn't come close to Xbox One pad. Xbox One pad is very good.
Xbox One pad is great. I like it.
I love it. If
certainly, for all the like current ones, that's my favorite. The GameCube one is still really good, but you compare the two, it's kind of like, they're different eras. So, of course, there's going to be better technology and just ergonomics and design as they've gone along and learned things.
I like it so much, I have almost considered buying one of those adapters so I could use the Xbox One controller on the PS4. Yeah, I've almost bought one.
I don't think they're super expensive.
Oh, they have adapters for that?
That's cool. They do. They have a Bluetooth adapter for it that'll let you do it.
The only reason I have an Xbox One controller is to play on my PC because I don't even have an Xbox One. But...
Well, the other alternative is I forget which company it is that makes it. If it's one of the professional controller companies, they make a Xbox-looking controller for the PlayStation 4 that is supposed to be the elite controller to own. My only problem with it is it costs almost as much as the PlayStation. No, it's wireless. It's Bluetooth. It's $200. It's over $200. Yeah, it's $200. And I can't justify $200 for a controller.
How much is the Xbox Elite controller? It's less than that, isn't it? It's
120.
It's still expensive, but it's not $200.
No, but still, I'm not paying that for the Elite controller. I'm not paying $200.
It depends on how much you're using it. If it's something I was going to be using all the time, every day, and from reviews and things that it's going to last, then sure, I would pay more for something.
Yeah, but I play my play my Switch too much now to pay $200 for a.
I don't play my Switch all that often. I get in moods and play it some, but yeah, I just.
You know what?
It's definitely a secondary console for me.
I will disagree with TFX God on this one. People say the DualShock 4's built-in battery is better than rechargeable batteries. You have to toss out there. I disagree with that. My PlayStation 4 controller battery was horrible. I ended up buying a new battery. Yep, I couldn't get them to last more than 3 hours without having to recharge them.
Wow, yeah, mine lasts way longer than that.
I ended up.
Did you have an early one?
Sounds like user error.
It's a launch one.
Might be they've updated it since then, because mine I got like well after launch, so maybe it's just a better.
I do have a newer controller, but I think it was still in the first year or two.
My controller still lasts me more than 6 hours.
No,
mine
never comes
PS4
close to
that. In very often.
I ended up buying a higher density or higher capacity battery off eBay and replacing it to get 6 or 7 hours out of it. And even at that, I have a charging stand that I put my controller on. I don't even plug it in anymore. It sits on the stand and charges when I'm not playing. That's the only way I can keep it charged. Battery in my DualShock controller. I had two DualShock controllers.
I think you just have really conductive hands that sucks
the battery out of it. Maybe that's it. When we were hot and heavy into Destiny, I literally would have one controller charging, playing, and we'd get halfway through the play session, and I would have to switch controllers because that controller would be dead. So, I mean, if I got 3 hours out of it, I was doing good, and we would play 6 hours. So by the end of the night, the second controller was already dead, while the other one was charging. So
yeah, I've gotten all day Saturday session playing on PS4, and mine does fun. It's not anything special.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess so. He says, you read my comment wrong. I'm saying the PS controller battery sucks. Okay. Well, yeah, the Xbox One is cool because you can swap in and out batteries, but I have a rechargeable battery in mine now. I don't even swap out AAA's.
I put a battery pack in mine because the problem with the rechargeable batteries is they're really great, but the ones I had were old, and so I decided instead of buying new AA, just replaceable ones, I just got like a battery pack.
I bought these.
But it's the same kind of thing.
I don't have them near here. I bought these cool.
Because mine, like the batteries that I had that were rechargeable, they used in my 360 ones that I had, the 360 controllers. I'd had them for so long they didn't hold the charge as much, and I had to turn Rumble off because it would shut the controller off because of them being rechargeables.
I bought
but that's just because the batteries are old. I could just replace them, right?
I bought a Nyko charging. You bought one for the Switch, one for the Xbox, and one for the PlayStation 4. And they're little modules that you can clip together and you hook in, and then you can set your controller on.
I've got one of those for my. I've got the Xbox one of that. I just have one, but it's the kind that does that.
Yeah, I have one for each system, and like the Switch comes with a little dongle that you attach on the back, so when you set it on the pad, it'll charge, and the same thing with the PlayStation 4. So mine stay charged all the time that way. I have two PlayStation 2 controllers, but only have one thing. So when I take the controller off, I put the other controller on there to charge while I'm playing. So if it goes dead, I can swap out controllers. That's the only reason I have two PlayStation 4 controllers, was because my batteries kept dying so quick. It's like I'll buy two controllers so I can always have one charged. It was ridiculous. So. But if you're getting 6 hours out of it, you're way better than me, and I don't understand how that's even possible.
I think maybe it depends on the game too.
Could be. I mean, I
always
don't
assumed
know.
like 3 to 4 hours on a charge, but maybe.
Once
I bought a new one on Black Friday last year.
Yeah, there's a difference on if you're playing an action game where you're doing button inputs and moving stuff all the time, versus like a game where it's a little slower paced and you're walking around with the stick.
Well, you also got that light bar on there, right? So if your light bar isn't turned down, I have mine on low. And then if you're playing Destiny, it's changing colors all the time. That might be doing something.
It could. Well, it does it on Red Dead too. I think it changes colors.
Red Dead cracked me up because it took me a second. Then I had to pause the game and look somewhere. And when I looked back to pick the controller, I was like, "Wait, it changed the light to red."
Yep,
that's funny.
I noticed that.
Normally it's blue.
I think now I can play a couple hours, and maybe there's 3 bars on there. I'll lose 1 bar now, something like that. But batteries, But I tell you what, the Switch Pro controller, I could go days without charging that thing, playing games for 4 or 5 hours a day, and still have a
it holds the charge pretty good.
So was the one for the Wii U was like that too. The Pro Controller for the Wii U was like that. It was it was unbelievable the amount of battery life it would hold. So yeah, check out on the Facebook. If you go to our website, the-gamers-lounge.com, the little Facebook tab's down on the bottom there, and that'll take you right to the Facebook page. And check out for Ryan's post once a week about different things, different questions like that, and
whatever random thing he comes.
Yeah, whatever random thing he comes up with. I told him I didn't care. He was like, "Oh, how about some questions?" I'm like, "Yeah, go for it. Is there anything you want?" I don't care, dude. Put a question on there. I'll answer it.
Spilled milk on one of his controllers too.
Yeah, that's what he said. One of these kids spilled milk on one of these controllers. He had to tear it down. I've done that before. I spilled pop on a PlayStation 3 controller. Do not take a PlayStation 3 controller apart. They are way hard to put back together. Not like the PlayStation 4s.
To start with.
When I took my PlayStation 3 controller apart, literally springs and triggers went, and I couldn't put it back together. I had no idea how to put it back together, so I ended up just buying a new one. It's still in pieces in a bag because I can't figure out how to put it back together. It's been like 6 years and still in a Ziploc bag. It's like, oh, yeah.
It's just sitting there like growing.
Yeah.
You should take it to GameStop and see if you can trade it in with a refurb fee.
I'm sure I could for like $5. So.
Imagine someone seeing that on the shelf.
Just hanging in a bag. Do-it-yourself controller for $5.
Somebody's gonna be like, "All right, I'll buy that."
Yeah, really. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna call that a show. I'm gonna save the show right now while I'm thinking about it. Before
save buttons are good.
Yeah, we've done that before where whole shows have not been saved, and that is not a fun time. So. Yeah. Because then we have to record again the next day and try to remember everything.
What did we say? I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us in the chat, TFX God. I really appreciate it. We'll be a couple weeks, and we'll be back again for another show. I'm on vacation. I will be back middle of the week, so we should still have another show 2 weeks from today, so that won't be a problem at all, unless I'm out of town working. They say I'm going to be at some point in November. We'll see. Fingers crossed. I need money. I like money. Money is good. So
yeah,
money is good. Time is money, friend. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
See ya.